Every golfer knows this feeling. You hit a beautiful drive straight down the fairway. Your approach shot lands softly on the green, maybe 25 feet from the hole. Suddenly, you're standing there thinking, this could be the moment, a perfect birdie opportunity. You line up the putt, take a smooth stroke, and then the ball just keeps rolling. It flies 6 feet past the hole. Three putts are one of the most frustrating things in golf. They ruin great holes and destroy confidence faster than almost anything else on the course. It takes only a few minutes, it's easy to practice, and it focuses on the single most important skill in putting: distance control. The problem: most golfers think three-putting happens because they misread the green. They assume they picked the wrong line or didn't account for enough break. But in reality, the biggest reason players three-putt has nothing to do with reading the green. The real issue is speed control. Think about it. When your speed is off, the putt either dies far short of the hole or races way past it. Many players become so focused on the perfect line that they forget the most important goal of the first putt, getting the distance right. But when the speed is inconsistent, every putt becomes unpredictable. That's exactly what leads to those frustrating three putts. The ladder drill is your new BFF. The best way to fix speed control is by developing a consistent feel for distance. And one of the most effective ways to do that is with a simple practice exercise called the ladder drill. This drill helps train your brain to understand how far the ball should travel with different stroke lengths, giving you a much better sense of touch on the greens. Setup. Setting up the ladder drill is incredibly simple. All you need is a few tees and a flat area of the practice green. Start by placing a tee in the ground to mark your starting point. Then take 3 large steps forward and place another tee. Repeat this process a few more times so that you end up with tees roughly 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15 feet away. What you've created is essentially a small ladder of distances. Each tee represents a different length putt that you'll practice. The goal isn't to make every putt, it's to develop a consistent feel for how far the ball should roll. Execution. Start at the first tee, the 3-foot mark. When you hit the putt, your goal isn't to smash it into the hole. Instead, focus on rolling the ball so it would finish just slightly past the cup. Imagine there's a small safety zone just behind the hole, maybe about the size of a hula hoop. If your ball finishes inside that zone, you've nailed the speed. Once you're comfortable with the 3-footer, move back to the 6-foot tee and repeat the process. Then continue working your way up the ladder to 9 feet, 12 feet, and 15 feet. With each putt, focus on giving the ball just enough speed to reach the hole and finish slightly beyond it. As you repeat the drill, you'll start to notice something interesting. Your brain begins to recognize what each distance feels like. A 6-foot putt requires a slightly longer stroke than a 3-footer. A 12-footer needs a little more energy. Over time, this builds a natural sense of distance control that becomes incredibly valuable during real rounds of golf. The why. What makes the ladder drill so effective is that it shifts your focus away from trying to make every putt. Instead, it trains you to prioritize speed. Once you develop consistent speed control, your putts will naturally start finishing closer to the hole. Think of it like training your sense of taste at a wine tasting. The more varieties you experience, the better your palate becomes at recognizing subtle differences. Putting works the same way. The more you practice different distances, the better your brain becomes at judging exactly how hard to hit the ball. Another helpful approach is to treat distance control like a calibration exercise rather than a test. Instead of always aiming directly for the hole, practice rolling balls to stop within a small zone around it. This shifts your focus from making the putt to understanding the relationship between stroke length and how far the ball travels. Over time, your brain starts building an internal reference system. A short backswing might correspond to 6 feet, a slightly longer one to 10, and so on. When you step onto the course, those references quietly guide your stroke without you consciously calculating anything. It also helps to vary the conditions during practice. Try putting uphill, downhill, and across subtle slopes so your mind becomes familiar with how speed changes on different parts of the green. Even small adjustments, like how firmly you strike the ball or how smoothly you follow through, begin to register in your memory. Gradually, you stop guessing and start feeling the correct pace almost instinctively. That growing sense of touch is what allows experienced golfers to send the first putt close enough that the second one becomes routine rather than stressful. If you found this tip helpful, make sure to subscribe for more golf tips that can instantly improve your game. And let me know in the comments if you've ever struggled with 3 putts and whether you're going to try this drill the next time you practice. With just a few minutes of focused practice, you might be surprised how quickly those frustrating 3 putts start disappearing.